Hello, welcome to Sound and Fury Book Reviews. As usual, I am Tina. Today I'm doing a book review of A Tidy Armageddon by B.H. Penhusen, which is a sci-fi post-apocalyptic book from April 2023 from ECW Press. I received a copy of this novel from the publisher in exchange for a fair review, so thank you so much. There are no spoilers in this review. A Tidy Armageddon is a somber and subdued story about the strangest apocalypse I have ever encountered. What is it about? The world is utterly transformed. Every product of human creation has been organized by an unknown hand into a vast grid of 9-story blocks, each comprised of a single item type: watering cans, lighthouses, fake Christmas trees, helicopters, plastic spoons, and everything else Earth's culture and technology have ever produced, stacked in homogeneous towers and separated by a maze of passageways. Navigating this depopulated environment, a small contingent of diverse soldiers tries to make sense of this enigmatic apocalypse by desperately searching for survivors. They are led by Elise Sharpcott, a Cree woman who has endured the military's rampant racism and misogyny, and Dorian Wakely, her PTSD-afflicted second-in-command. Both veterans of the war in Afghanistan, they lead a group of army misfits while they all struggle, against the elements and each other, to survive. Passing with fear and wonder through this museum of human achievement, provisioning themselves from its resources, the group races to outrun the approaching winter and find a home. This book is the furthest apocalypse from Mad Max that you can get, I think. It's a transfixing and brilliant attack on consumerism and, in a way, humanity's inability to not look before they leap. A great deal of our progress, the book suggests, is also our downfall. Much like the words of Ian Malcolm, your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should. I tried to explain to my partner what this book was about, essentially paraphrasing the back cover, and he ended up just asking me if I was reading a Costco catalog, and no, it's not. It's hard to describe what this book actually is without ruining the magic of jumping into it blind. I hate Costco, by the way. I went there one time and never again. Here's the thing. I read so many books a year that it's only the really, really good ones or the really intriguing ones that I end up talking to my husband about. And this one, well, it's really, really good. It's a critique of humanity's penchant for making so much stuff. There's little jabs thrown here and there that I was totally on board with, such as an amazing teardown of bottled water, diamonds, and plastic spoons. It has a real environmental focus, if you haven't guessed, in a way that isn't subtle but also isn't didactic or placing blame. I thought it was well balanced, but it also could be because I'm definitely on board with anything that critiques wastefulness. It's slow though, and while there is an ending, or more so an explanation, I can understand if people don't find said ending entirely satisfactory, but I love an ending that makes you ponder, so it worked for me. I also like a ponderous novel, and I had trouble putting this book down at night. It really kind of resonated with me, and I really enjoyed it. The novel also has a found family aspect that I know a lot of people like. In this case, it's the soldiers. It's Sharpcott, Wakely, Leclerc, Virago, Say, Deeks, Loco, and Bronsky. They are a diverse bunch too, just like the back said, with a lot of women for a military unit. But the very fact of their unit's makeup is explained at one point in a way that is also pointing out the racism and sexism that still exists in the military. I really enjoy the gender parity of the group, as so often in military stories, as much as I love military stories. You get 1 or 2 women max, and the characters are varied. While they are all soldiers, only 3 of them are seasoned, with the rest being privates barely out of basic training. Deeks was my favorite, as she was always making sarcastic jabs and quips. I couldn't stand Bronsky, but he also wasn't vilified, despite his rather annoying and sometimes abhorrent personality traits. He's the kind of guy who would put those terrible fake balls on his truck, so, you know the type. He, though, like the others, felt real. He felt like a real person. This is a novel where the actions and dialogue of a character show more about their personalities than backstories. There are a few backstories, but it's more about them interacting with each other than it is kind of giving everyone kind of a detailed kind of life story. And in that way, I really like detailed backstories, but in this way it really worked. It's third person, slightly omniscient, as it jumps around at times into other characters' heads, but mainly stays with Sharpcott and Wakely. It's definitely not a straightforward plot, though in a way it's very simple. It's a survival story, but not the type you usually encounter in an apocalypse. Overall, if you want an almost literary fiction apocalypse novel that contains quite a few tropes, but in ways you don't expect, you should totally check this book out. It was quite a wild ride. The book also has some great Canadian references and allusions that I'm always on board for, such as jabs at Air Canada, and yeah, I'm always down for that because Air Canada's the freaking worst. Anyway, thank you again to the publisher for the ARC copy. I really appreciate it, and I think the cover is really pretty. Like, it's very simple, but it's like, I love the purple. Purple is my favorite color. Anyway, thank you.